Mini skirt on, dip my body in glitter. Platform sneakers, all the boys want a picture. Two foreign cars, I make rich look richer. Save your breath, baby, I'm not going home with ya. Mini skirt on, dip my body
Hello,
in
hello,
glitter.
hello. You're now tuned in to the A Little Bit a Lot podcast. I'm your host, Kristen, and this week we have an exciting episode. I have been literally looking forward to this episode and this guest for forever. We've got Jess. Hello, hello.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
Girl, I'm doing good. Ever since summer hit, I've been in a good mood. So,
No, literally summer will hit and I feel like I literally transform into a different person.
no, for real. I get tanner, I get my braids in. I start going
Same.
outside. You know what I
Yeah.
just feel like when a black girl gets her hair done and it's warm outside, it's gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
You
It's a
can't tell
different
us
type of
anything.
activation.
Confidence is on high. So I'm good. I am tired because child capitalism, but
Yeah, that part. Literally, girl, I've been working, actually overtime, but
oh my God.
we gotta do what we gotta do. So yeah, I've been so looking forward to having Jess as a guest for the longest time. If you guys don't know, she is a content creator over on TikTok, and she mostly focuses on books, mental health. You're also a playwright. That's really interesting. Once I looked at that detail, I'm like, wait, she's a theater girly. And if you guys have listened to multiple of my episodes, I've always talked about how I wish I was a theater kid. I wish I could live that theater fantasy. So I was like, this is just perfect. We need to get into it because growing up, I have always been a big, book girly. And then, towards, high school, mental health kicked in. I fell off. But now I'm back. Your girl's got her iPad mini. She's been reading. And it's Jess has been the reason why I feel like I've been inspired because of your recommendations. So it's what is it like? What got you into, trying to push this content creation journey?
Yeah. Okay, so before even TikTok, I was a part of the book YouTube. I wasn't a part of it, but I would religiously watch that blonde girl pulling banana books, that one.
Ooh, yeah.
She was a really big one, and then Katie reads and stuff like that. So because I've been obsessed with reading since I could read,
Yeah.
So first it was YouTube and then TikTok kicked off. And then I kept watching all these book talkers, and then I saw black book talkers, and then I don't know, it just came from a need to create because I am a creative being, you know what I mean? And I was just I've been wanting to make TikTok videos for the longest. And I'm just that I could literally just do it. Who cares? This year started. Well, I started last year, but this year started, and I was just I can just talk about books and find my people. Let me just do that. And so
Right.
yeah, I just always really loved it. So I wanted to participate in it.
Yes, I love that. I was telling her offline how much I love her content and the way that you have a unique approach with your book recommendations and even with your transparency with you being in a book rut lately. What's that been like? I wanted to ask you are you still in your book rut? I was
Okay,
we gotta free Jess.
I have to be free. This is not me. I don't know who I am right now.
This
But
is
it's
the R.
crazy 'cause,
Kelly meme. This is not me.
This is not me. I'm fighting for my life.
yeah, book rut is kind of because I can read a book in a day. You know what I mean? So I'm slowly coming out of it because my job, I work for an abortion advocacy org, and so a project that I'm heading for it is a book club for abortion, more abortion knowledge and things like that. And it's
Hey,
mostly
that's so
fiction books.
cool.
Yeah, anyone can join. I'll send you the link.
Oh,
Yeah,
period. Okay, so you get to literally get paid to read right now.
yeah.
So do you think that's
my
helping
job's
it
amazing.
come back?
Yeah, and I pitched it. I was look, books change your lives. Books can change everything. Your point of view, and they were like, "Oh, that sounds great." And they were like, "Go ahead and do it." I said, "Ooh, okay." So I'm finding that kind of is helping me out of the book rut, because like the book that we're starting with, and because yeah, the book that we're starting with, I'm not gonna say anything because I can't announce it yet, but like that book has gotten me a little bit out of the book rut, and I think it's more like because I have a deadline and I'm like, I need to read this book by this time because I have to come up with discussion questions, all of these things. So that's kind of helping me. I've been reading every day. It's been the slowest I've ever read ever because it's 2 weeks later and I'm still not done. So it's just like, I know once I finish this book, I'm gonna get out of it. I think the spell is broken because like I'm reading a lot faster per se.
Yeah.
But it's been horrible, and I was gonna make this video just talking about that and talk like, because when it was the winter, you know, I don't want to be outside in Chicago. I was reading a lot. I was reading a bunch, and I find that like now it's warmer, that's also contributing to my reading rut, because I'm like, okay, I'm getting invited here, I'm getting invited here, and then I also have my job, and like summer is when my playwriting career really picks up, because I don't know, once it gets warmer and like summer to fall, like that's when like the theater girlies rise or whatever. So I think it's just like the busyness of life, and like it being warm and it being like being social, I think it's also started to contribute to that rut. And so, but long story short, whatever, how you say it, it's fucking horrible, because I'm like, I started talking about books on this thing, and like all I'm doing, like all my videos now are like mental health, and that's amazing, but I'm like, I want to connect with the book girlies again. So I'm excited to finish this book and do a book review, because I just feel like I don't have a limb when I'm not like reading. Like it's bad.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my God. No, that's got to be such a frustrating feeling,
Yeah.
not feeling connected to something that you love. But at the same time, it's like, I feel like you could kind of look at it more as like a balance, if anything, because like you are giving yourself like a little bit of a break in the, you know, summer months. But at the same time, it's like, once a book girly, always a book girly. Like I still want to do what I need to do. So I understand like that's frustrating, because I was trying to get back into reviewing my books, but then at that point I was like, girl, this is just too much work, like having to think about how this made me feel and then put that to words and post it. I was like, I just want to move on to the next book.
About the books, like the cute formatting, I'm always like,
Oh,
I
thank
love
you.
it. I love it.
The last 2 books I read, I have not posted a review on, and I was like, oh, I need to get back on that, because like Jess is giving inspiration, because like I really want to be able to show like all the sides of me, and like that reading has been such a big part of my life.
Yeah.
But I've just been like falling off with this, so I kind of agree, because I just finished Midnight Sun. I was telling my listeners the other day, and that book took me 8 weeks to finish.
Child, it would take me that long too. I still haven't finished Midnight Sun. Edwards.
Because it's like, girl,
I can't with him.
I said like he is insufferable. Like it is.
I hate him. Like the girlies that are Team Edward, I don't trust them.
No, and the gag is, I am a Team Edward girly. Now I'm wondering, do I trust myself? What is
can't
wrong
trust
with
you
my
now.
psyche to lead me to this conclusion? Because it would really have me contemplating my life decisions.
No.
I was like, wait, like why? You know? Like, girl, it just did not make him look good at all. Like, he was just too much. It was like he looked forward to being able to be moody. Like, he felt uncomfortable being happy. And it's like, for you to be this old and be this traumatized and constantly want to project on everybody else in your life is crazy work.
At this age, at your big age, Edward,
No,
at your big age, you
literally.
don't act like that. I can't.
No. So yeah, like it really, really like almost kind of sent me into like a mental crisis at that point.
No.
Because I was just like, what have I been doing being Team Edward? Like, no shade, no tea to anybody out there. You know what I'm saying? Because I am an Edward girl. But it really made me feel a type of way, because it was so difficult to get through. Like, I wanted to give up on it, but a part of me was just like, out of spite, like, you know what? No, like, I'm not going to let him get me down. I'm going to push through. And it's like, I don't know if a book should make you feel like that. if I'm doing this in my free time and I'm acting like he's holding me against my will, like, to finish.
But I will say, like, the Edward girlies, like, y'all, I was recently rewatching Twilight, and I was like, why Edward look kind of fine?
Right.
I think it's only because of Robert Pattinson, like, but I was like, why Edward looking kind of fine? Like, I'm still a Jacob girl to my core, because, you know,
Right.
like, I was obsessed with him. But I was like, damn. And me and my coworker were watching Twilight together, and I was like, why he kind of fine?
He is.
I was like, we were both Team Jacob, and we were just having a crisis too. Like, maybe. But I think as you grow up too, like, your views of relationships change.
Yeah.
For me, like, I still think friends to lovers is perfect. Like, a relationship should be based on friendship and things like that. But, like, their relationship isn't healthy. But I was like, it's kind of a little better than Jacob trying to force himself on her at every moment.
Right.
Especially in, like, Eclipse. Because I'm like, if a boy forcefully kissed me, because I remember, oh my God, I was so problematic when I was young. I was like, she should be grateful he tried to kiss her. It's Jacob. How's she gonna punch him? But, like, now I'm like, why the fuck did I think that? Because I'm like, if I think of a guy that keeps trying, because I've had, like, a friend that likes me, and I'm like, I'm not into you, and they've, like, kept trying, I would have just, like, punched him too. Like, Jacob's annoying, Edward's annoying. At the end of the day, I think the message is both of them are annoying. I don't want my relationship to be neither. But I think if I could choose, I'd probably just.
Girl, at this point, Bella should have stayed single.
Bella should have stayed single. Well, she irritated me. My blood pressure up. I need to.
No, she really is a mess. And I think that, like your point, like, I do agree that when you're growing up, like, we all feel the same way. Like, you know, you're so infatuated on the cute aspect of it. Oh my God, they're so cute, yada yada. And then you grow up and it's like, now that we're in our 20s, it's like, oh, like, this is, like, really problematic. And it's like taking away from the magic and the sparkle of it all, because we realize how problematic the series is. But I think just what gets me is the saving grace is, like, the movies. Because, like you said, then you can kind of, like, distance from the problematic, like, points and be like, wait, like, he looks fine. Ooh. And it's okay. So it's like the movies balance it out and make it better. But when you really get down to the root and you're reading the books, you're like, this is actually really hard to read.
Yeah. And it's like, it's so nostalgic too. Just,
yeah.
Because I was, like, a really big Twihard. Like, my sister was driving me to premieres. I was embarrassing her in front of all them white people, she said. And so, like, it was... I was a mess. Like, you can ask any of my friends that have been my friends for the longest, like, would you want to be friends with Jessica in middle school and high school and Twilight was in his prime? No. I was crazy. Like,
I always say it makes you go feral. Like,
I was feral, but it's so nostalgic. Like, even if, like, Edward irritates me, Jacob irritates me, Ben irritated me since I was 11. Me and her, beef. Longest
beefed out.
But like, it's just nostalgic to watch it. So, like, I think as we grow older, like you said, like, you're able to distance yourself because you're like, okay, I know I'm never gonna give up my life for a man. Because what's her problem? Oh my God.
The Italy moment alone, when I was rewatching and going through that whole series, I'm like, yikes, girl. Like, I know you're 18 and all, but I always just felt for Charlie. Like,
oh, she treated that man so bad. So bad.
She put him through the literal mud.
Jacob being changed to a werewolf in front of him. I'm like, that man is, he need to go to therapy.
No, literally. Right? And that was, like, my final diagnosis where I'm like, at this point, like, everybody needs therapy. So, I'm just so happy we got to, like, touch on that a little bit because, oh my God, like, that was so difficult. But it feels good to know that, like, you didn't finish reading it either because it's literally insanity. But speaking of reading, since, you know, I wanted to ask you how long you've been a book girly, but you basically already said it, like, since you could read.
Yeah.
So from young, you were just like, reading is for me.
Yeah, because I've been reading since I was 6. And so, like, I love to say, like, I've been writing since I was 6. Like, I learned how to do those two things kind of, like, the same.
Yeah.
I would be in, like, first grade reading Harry Potter books. And, like, we had, like, fuck J.K. Rowling, by the way, but like,
Right.
but I remember like we had like reading counts in Florida. We have like reading count, and like you read, you get points, and you get like prizes and stuff. And so I
Oh,
would,
we had something like that too at my school,
yeah,
and we get like little chains as a reward, or we get like
yeah,
luncheons.
yeah.
Girl, at that point, I was like rigging some of them, but
No, I was literally because my classmates, my friends, they knew I loved to read like in elementary school, and so they would tell me to take the test for them, and I'd be like, yeah, for like 2 cookies, because like the cookies at my elementary school, amazing. I don't know what, I still think about them, like who made them, because like I was bartering cookies like my life depended on it, and I should have been bartering money, but to me, cookies really mattered. Like,
no, you had a
so they'd be like,
system.
oh, Jessica read Harry Potter in 2 days, and sometimes it'll be one, because I skipped school. In middle school, I was skipping school.
Oh my God, to read.
I was skipping school to read. I got put into detention because I was reading. I was skipping school to even write. Like, I was a full nerd, I think. Like, looking back, I'm like grateful, because I'm like, oh, I'm reading and writing for a living, basically. So
Right.
whatever. But yeah, so I got touched by the reading bug at 6. I think it's just something like I grew up like lower class black girl, like poor and stuff like that. And I was going like my mom died when I was 6 too, so I think that was also like kind of a way to escape that trauma. 'Cause I didn't know
Escape.
how to deal with that. I'm 6, you know what I mean?
Right.
I'm being raised, and I've been raised by my grandma since the longest, so it wasn't an adjustment. But I think like my life was so chaotic growing up, like that reading was like that stability for me. And so I think that's a reason that I really loved books, because I think for the longest time I used to tell myself, I used to say like I love books because I can escape, you know? And like now like it's still an escape, but like I'm in therapy, you know, I'm on my meds. You know, I'm dealing with my trauma, my life a little better than it was when I was younger, you know? And so like now I just read because I enjoy it. I love going into other worlds, but yeah, it was
Back
like
then, it
this
was more
like
of like survival. Where
yeah,
now it's become a healthy hobby. It
yeah.
sounds like, girl, the way that you're describing this literally sounds so similar to my story and my relationship with reading and writing, because growing up, mine went hand in hand. I was so obsessed with reading that when I first learned how to read, I would try to see if I could read as fast as I could. Like, let's say we're in the car and we're passing by like a billboard. I would be like, what does that say? And I would try to read it as fast as we could, like when we zoom by it. Because I'm like, dang, like I realized from a young age, like I really do like reading and I want to be like a speedy reader. And it just became a like flex in first grade.
No,
And
it's like you be flexing on them because you're not as cool as me.
right, like what? And people would literally be like gagged, like, dang, like how could she get through these books like so quickly? And it was the same thing with you. Like I really used it as escapism. And then like my parents ended up getting a divorce like towards middle school. So that was like an unfortunate situation, and then especially like reading helped me escape that, and like writing. And I talked about it on another episode where like I was so obsessed with writing that I would literally write the authors of the books that I liked at the time and like send them my short stories and be like, you're an inspiration, I love your work, here's my short story, let me know what you think about it because I want to be an author when I grow up. And they would reply and be like, oh my god, hi Kristen, like loved your story, you know, this is great. Now that I look back at it, like, was that them? Was that an assistant? I don't know. But in the moment, like, that made me feel so special, and like it was all I needed. So I totally relate to you in that way, because it truly just helps you like get through life. And then it gets to the point where you're like, okay, I'm reading this and it feels like I'm watching a movie now, because I
Yeah,
can see these people so vividly in my head. Some of these people feel like my friends.
they do. Like I be talking about my book characters. The books I read, I be talking like they're my friends. And sometimes like my grandma and my sister will always be like, who is this? And I'll be like, oh, Jacob. And they're like, oh God, here she goes.
Like I do this to this day. Whenever I'm
Me
reading a book and it's really
too.
good, I'll be literally talking my boyfriend's ear off, and I'm like, "Let me tell you what Amanda did in the book. Now she want to do this, and now she want to turn around and be friends." And it's like, "Girl," and then like he'll be like, "Mm-hmm," but like he eats it up.
No, men. One thing, that's how you know you found the one too, because he eating it up. But like men, like any type of drama. Like he don't like. Please, men love drama. I love that he eats it up. He's like, he probably like Amanda did what?
No, literally, because like I'll literally be talking to him and like gossiping, like it's like my real friend, like, and then she told me, da 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 da.
And then she, oh my god.
And it's like he literally looks forward to like when I get a couple more chapters in, and then I can tell him like the result and be like, and he showed up to her house, and then he'll be like, then what you say?
Boyfriend goals. Okay, book boyfriend core.
No, period.
That's-
like,
Girl, invite me to the wedding. I'm ready.
no, literally, like obsessed. Yeah, I think that's like, I think also growing up, like you have so many moments where it's like, I feel like I don't see a lot of people talk about what is it, the scholastic book fairs.
Yes.
Growing
I
up,
love the book
when
fair.
you're poor and going to those book fairs and you're a book girly,
It was,
you want to talk
it's,
about devastation station. It's like it gets real. Like I just want to know, like, did you experience that? Because like there were a couple book fairs where I would walk out thoughty because I'm like, I wanted this, and this, and we couldn't afford it, but when we could, my mom would make it work.
Always gonna find a way. One thing
Yeah.
about growing up poor, like that I'm grateful for, is like I know how to make something out of nothing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, my grandma, there's no food. Shoot, I still ate that day. Something out of nothing. I was really fortunate because I grew up in a really small town. And so, like, I feel like small towns, the community is really there for everyone. So, like, my grandma would give me, like, she'd scrap up $20, you know. Like, one thing about me, I'm spoiled. Like,
Aw.
to this day, like, I grew up poor, but I was spoiled because my grandma did whatever she could. Like, she would go to Walmart once a month with $20 so I can get a book. Like, so for the Scholastic Book Fair, it was kind of like, because we were all kind of poor in my town, but there were some people that were better off. And so there would be like teachers that knew I really liked books. And so like I'd get like some certain stuff for free or like they'd cover it. Yeah. And so it was like, I didn't get everything that I wanted because if I did, I'd probably buy the whole place.
Right.
Ain't nobody got money for that. But it was like I was able to like at least get one book or like my teacher would see me sad over this and she'd buy it. You know what I mean? So like I'm really fortunate that like I feel like if I went to school with like richer kids in a bigger area, I would have experienced more of that, like because I didn't start experiencing like wow I'm really poor until I went to like a performing arts high school with like these rich white kids, and that's when I really was like, oh, it's not normal that we eat beans and rice. Oh, it's not normal that I can't afford Broadway tickets. It's not normal, like those, because like when you grow up in a small town, like my experience is that I don't know, like you don't know you're poor. I didn't know I was
Yeah.
poor. I didn't know like I was going without. I just thought those things were normal. And like if I couldn't, like even Christmas is like I didn't go to Christmas without at least one present because community, you know, we would have like they would give away free presents, you know, my school or like the mayor. So I didn't really experience that like watching everyone buy books and I couldn't, because like when I watched everyone buy books and I couldn't, I still got something, you know, because of the power of community and my amazing teachers. And yeah, my grandma giving me $10 or $20, like, so yeah,
That'll get you like 2 good books solid.
2 good
with
books.
that.
And I was stealing books from libraries. I probably shouldn't say that.
No, girl, we've been there. We've literally, I had some when I moved out that I realized I'd never returned. And I'm like, dang, well, too late.
They with me, I did it on purpose.
My dad worked at my school as a janitor for a while, and he would take them too. He'd be in the library and be like, here you go. I'm like, period.
That's my librarian in high school. Cause like during lunches, during lunches my freshman year, I would be in the library a lot. Cause like I said, I went to a rich white performing arts high school, so it like was hard to fit in that first year, and so I would go to the library, and the librarian would be like,
I'm sorry to cut you off. Literally same. That was my 11th grade. I was transferred from pretty much an all black school to a white school, and I did the same thing. library, lunch go together. So,
Yep. You know, librarian, besties.
right.
She would be like, I would go to check out a book. She like, you ain't got to check it out. Just keep it. Yeah. She saw me
Wait.
stealing. She was like, let me just, girl, just take it. Like, you ain't, yeah.
Like, it's not gonna hurt anybody. Like, we
Yeah, it's
won't miss
not.
it.
I still got some books, so.
Oh wow. No, because that was literally me. Like, I was literally going to the lunch, to the library literally every time we had lunch, because it was too much, and I found like that escape. So I feel like books have literally continuously, time and time again, like been there to help me escape in the same way that it's been for you. So I love that. And we used to also have like book orders. I don't know if you guys had those too, where it was not just the book fair, but we'd have book orders, and they would send like the same books that they have at the book fair. They would send them like year round, and they would send like catalogs in the mail, and then they would send them home.
That sounds great.
Yeah. So even if they don't have a book fair, like once a quarter, they would send that catalog home, and you could just order the books that you see at the book fair, like through the catalog. And then I would go home, mark the ones that I would want, and then sometimes my mom would be able to have enough to like get them for me. So you bring it back to your teacher, you give your teacher your check, and then they order them for you. And then like a couple weeks later, the books come in the mail, and now it just feels like Christmas in school, because like now it's like 9 a.m. and my teacher's like, oh, Kristen, your books came, and I'd be like the only one who ordered books. And then everybody would just be like, dang, what'd you get? And all of a sudden everybody in the class is like coming over trying to see what books I got. And I'm like,
You like famous? You like, oh, I got Twilight. 'Cause I don't know what age you read Twilight, but I was in 3rd grade.
girl, I didn't read Twilight until I was literally a junior in high school.
That's smart.
Yeah.
I got in trouble in middle school when Breaking Down Part 2 came out. Not Breaking Down Part 2. I'm sorry, Breaking Down Part 1, because the headboard breaking. And I was telling everybody, I was like, yeah, the trailer came out and Edward broke the headboard, but I was telling people about how he broke the headboard. I was having them watch the trailer in class, in my computer class, and I was like, yeah, the sex scenes weren't, shown in the book, but I think we're really gonna see it. We're gonna see them get freaky and break. And I got in trouble. Because I was
like, what is wrong with this girl?
Yeah, I was like, it's probably because I was reading Twilight. I'm 9 years old, so it's like, and I'm in middle school, like, yeah, like, and I was reading the Lemony fanfics, like smut.
Oh
So,
my God.
I was like, what shame? I'm not allowed to talk about this. I was like, he was breaking more than that in fanfic. What are you talking about?
I cannot believe you're reading smut at such a young age.
I was writing it too. What? In middle school, though. Middle school, not elementary. Not elementary.
Oh.
Because I wrote Jacob and Renesmee fanfic, Jacob and Bella fanfic, and then but Jacob and Renesmee was never smut.
Okay, that makes me feel a little bit better.
Yeah, but like I wasn't even writing smut like that. I'd be like, and then they have sex. Cut to next scene.
And sometimes you need that. You need that balance, especially, for the age appropriateness of it all at the time. What the heck?
I was reading.
No, I literally wrote a mindless behavior fanfic once.
Oh my God.
It wasn't smut, but like I got like 4 chapters in, and it was kind of like getting a little traction, and then I just like lost inspiration for it. But I've been there too. Trust.
I love mindless behavior.
Yeah, like it's a whole thing. No, that's like crazy. So we already talked about like what our favorite things of reading books is. It's really just the escapism of it all. But do you have anything else to add on to that, or is that really just like truly your favorite thing now? Like the aspect of it, like the escapism.
I love it. I loved it. I think that's it. Like, and also the different worlds. And I don't know. It's like drama. It's like why people love TV shows. That's and movies. That's why I love books. So it's just like, I don't know. I wish I had an eloquent reason for liking books, but I just like.
No, my reasoning is the same. Okay, and the question that I was so excited for us to get into is, what is your favorite book trope? Because we've got so many different ones, from enemies to lovers, best friends to lovers, fake dating. Do you have a favorite?
Yo.
Let's get into it.
Okay. I think I made a video about this, about why I love friends to lovers and why you probably have that trauma of thinking no one will ever fully love you because like your friends know everything. They won't leave you. Abandonment issues, talking girl.
Oh
Well,
my
my therapist
God.
watched this. She gonna be like, yo. And so like friends to lovers is my thing. I don't know. I've always loved that, and I think that's why I really love Jacob and Bella because they were like friends and all that stuff. I just think it's so sweet to like, because your friends are like, I think your friends are like the greatest loves of your lives, like no matter what.
Yeah.
So to have someone that's a friend and has seen like all parts of you, because like when you were dating someone, you only know them for a few months before you're like, oh, let's be together, let's be in a relationship. You know what I mean? Like it's like 1 to 3 months and you're in a relationship, unless you're in a year-long talking stage, which we all do
isn't that
over
common.
here. We
Yeah.
all do that over here. But like friends to lovers, it's like y'all been friends for years. You done seen me blacked out, drunk in the bathroom at college eating Taco Bell. Like, you done seen me cry and act feral over an ex. Like, you know all parts of me, and then, like, you love all parts of me. You know what I mean? So I just think that friends to lovers is so sweet because it's like, they're going to be together forever because, like, they have that friendship already. It's not like, oh, the only reason for the relationship is, oh, I think you're cute, or like we have really great sex, or like we have the same color. It's like, no, you're truly compatible, like by then. And like my favorite rom-com is When Harry Met Sally, and that's like enemies to friends to lovers, like slight enemy friends to lovers, and like
Right.
It's just so beautiful watching someone realize they're in love, because I think with friends and lovers, we get to see them fall in love.
Right.
Because they already love each other, but there's like, now it's a little spice. So I just love that. And oh my God. And then fake dating is also, or like when they're forced to get married and they realize they love each other. I love that shit. Like fake dating, to all the boys I loved before, hello. Like I wanted that so bad in high school when I
Oh
read
my
that.
God.
I was like, I want some man to fake date me and realize I'm his true love all along. Like, please. I think it's cute because then they're in a denial. There's only one bed trope, all that shit. Like,
Oh.
I eat it up. And people
No,
are,
same.
yeah, and there was like something going around. I think it was Tumblr or somewhere where it was like, oh, these tropes are dead. Why do we keep using the same tropes? Like, there's only one bed. Da, da. I'm like, girl, shut up. First of all, I love romance because it's predictable. The formula works, and I love love, so I don't care. Like, if there's only one bed in a book, I'm finna go feral. Don't even play with me. Like,
And it's like, it's so, I think sometimes you have that moment where you're like, I literally know I can predict how the rest of this book is going to go.
Yeah.
But somehow, like you said, I still eat it up every time. And it's like, it doesn't get old. So it's official, like your favorite genre is also romance too?
yeah.
Okay, period. Because like I wish that I could be like a self-help book girly, or like, a murder mystery. But it's like, girl, romance is gonna do it for me every single time.
Every
I've
single time.
I've been a romance girly from the jump. I'm talking middle school, like reading romance. Like,
Same.
I don't know.
Love is just beautiful. Like,
It really is.
like, listen, I love love, and I get, like, my friends are always like I'm just like such a romantic, like when I'm dating someone, they have to know, get me flowers, romance me to get me, because I am a romance girly, okay? I be
No,
reading these books of these
same.
men, doing all these grand gestures. I better have at least one a year.
Right. No, my boyfriend has gotten with the program now. Like, he
Yes.
fully
Okay,
understands that I
yes.
need flowers. Like, no, we're literally connected on that level because, like, I need that moment. Like, birthday comes
Yeah.
around. Like, I'm sorry, you're going to have to do your big one. Like,
Yeah. Like right now, I'm like, I don't want. I'm not gonna jinx it. I'm not gonna. But I'm like seeing someone right now. Like, we had like this crazy ass meet cute at a club.
wait, oh my God. Wait, I'm literally gagging right now.
We had a meet cute at a club, and I was like, oh, it ain't gonna go nowhere. But like, yeah, he's like bringing me flowers, sending me coffee and stuff, and I'm just like, that's what I need. That's what I want. Like,
Wait, girl.
that's what I want, and like
I'm
I
sorry,
make
like
that
I'm
very
literally
apparent.
like I can't right now. Like I can't. I'm smiling so big because it's like this is so like book coded.
It
Meet cute
is.
in club, like buying. Like come on, I love that for you so much.
That's what I'm like, it better work out. I'm fight.
Period.
But I'm just like that, and I make it very apparent. Like every guy that I started like dating or seeing or whatever, or talking to, I'm always like, listen, I was spoiled as a kid, like, and I read romance novels. If you're not bringing flowers, if you're not stepping up the romance, I'm not gonna feel loved. You gotta go, like,
Right.
and that may be like, I know relationship TikTok is like, oh, those things are unrealistic, blah 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 blah. I'm like, I don't care.
No, they're not. Like
And
it's
if people
literally
have done
so
it before.
simple.
Yeah. Like look at Monet and Jalen. Jalen getting that girl flowers every. I don't wanna have a controversial topic, but Monet and Jalen.
Guys, we were talking about Monet and Jalen offline, and I feel like we need to just be transparent. We stand Monet and Jalen. I know there's controversy going on, but it's like I was literally on my birthday trip, like had my phone connected to the TV when we were like swimming and stuff, and watching her vlogs when they went on vacation together. And like now my boyfriend is in it, and it's like, yes, this is my new it couple. Like I love to have a couple that I can look forward to, and it's like, sorry, like I love them together. They look so good together.
Oh yes, they're so beautiful together. And like
Yeah.
he like flowers her. He treats her like he like flowers her and flowers. Like he treats her so well. And I know like the 50-50 thing. I first of all, he should have just not talked because I don't feel like they do 50-50. They're both rich. Like I
Right.
think Jalen provides for her. You know what I mean? Like
I
and
think
maybe
real
he does
ones like us know, but the context of the virality of it, like, just got taken out of context.
yeah.
Like, if you watch, like, you know that, like, he does provide for her.
He's been like, 'cause I don't feel like Jalen. I don't think Monet would date somebody who go, we gonna split on this date. Like the girl, no, Monet is not that girl. And if it, listen, and we don't know people's relationships, so if it comes out like years later they break up and we find out, oh, he was horrible, this, then it's like, okay, he's literally in his 30s dating a freshly 20 something. So like this is her first serious relationship, I think. So like
Yeah.
you have to give grace, and it sucks that like she's experiencing this healthy, amazing relationship in the public eye where like people always want to find something wrong, always want to hate, and then he's not making it even any better. Talk about 50-50.
It's like, oh my God, like, I don't really
I
want to,
need-
like, no shade, no tea to men.
Yeah.
It's like, sometimes we need you to just,
Just shut up. I like a man that's quiet, don't say nothing. I like that. 'Cause, like,
exactly.
sometimes they embarrass you, even though they don't mean to. I was just like, oh,
And that speaks to the whole Sabrina Carpenter of it all that's going on right now.
oh my
The
God,
please,
Barry
please.
Keoghan.
Because it's like, don't embarrass me. Like, keep it zipped. Please,
Yeah, I'm
please,
like-
please don't make me look crazy in these streets. Oh my God, no. Okay, I don't even know how we even got on them, but
I was talking about romance, and I thought Monet.
oh yeah. Like if you
Oh,
guys
look,
watch their
girl.
vlogs, like their vlogs are
Yeah.
so cute. Like I love them together.
Me
But
too.
I agree. Like that is just what makes romance like so exciting about it all. And I was like, thinking about this in preparation for our episode. I'm like, what is my favorite trope? But I've been reading a lot of fake dating lately. And I feel like it might low-key be my favorite. Just because it's like somehow the denial of it all pisses me off. But somehow I, like I said, still eat it up. Because I was just reading another book that I just finished. And it's like, there's so many times where they're like, oh, but we're just friends, right? Like, like, and it's like, girl, how many times do you have to continue to keep telling yourself like, oh, but it's not like that, until it finally clicks. And then it's like, it makes it almost that much more like satisfactory when the moment does click. And it's
God,
like,
yeah.
girl, we knew you were gonna fall for it this whole time, girl. Like, it's almost like you just want to shake the character and be like, why don't you see that you're falling for this guy? Like the denial is insanity. Like it drives me crazy, but somehow I still love it.
It's great, and because I think it just makes the reward of them getting together like that much more satisfying. Like, you get
Yes.
frustrated the whole book yelling. I love when a character is like pissing me off. 'Cause I'm like, that's entertaining to me. It does
Right.
put my blood pressure up. Like I think I was reading. I'm trying to think of what book that was that I was reading where the character like was really making me mad. I'm looking at my bookshelf, being like, where was that? But there's a lot where I'm just like, girl, what are you doing? Like, you piss me
Literally.
off. But then it's just like you said with the fake dating, and you're like, girl, you like him, y'all like each other, and then finally they're like, no, we like each other. You're like, thank God.
I
Then you know
know.
that the third act breakup, they gotta be, we like each other, and then some dumb crap happened. I think we should demolish the third act breakup. I'm tired of this.
Girl, and the book I just finished was literally giving third act breakup, and I literally was like, what is going on right now? And you're telling me that now we only have 100 pages of them being together?
Right.
Excuse me? Sometimes not even that. Sometimes you get like 50
Sometimes you get a
pages, and
chapter.
they're finally together, and you're like, what's going on with that? Oh, I just finished. It's called The Proposal. You read Jasmine Guillory?
I'm actually like reading that. It's right there. I'm looking at it.
Oh, period.
Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. Wait till when I finish it, child. 'Cause I started 2 chapters and my big head wrote got into my reading slump, but
Yeah, The Proposal, it wasn't like 100% the best in my
yeah.
opinion, but like it was still a cute read. But yeah, it's like, girl, the denial of it all is like, it gets me in the third act breakup out of it all. But like, did you end up finishing the Take a Hint, Jenny Brown, Act Your Age, E Brown? Like, did you finish the whole series?
Yes.
Okay, because I wanted to touch on that where like we have the moment where you have Take a Hint, Danny Brown. Something that irritates me with the romance is like, I prefer when like they broke up at the end of the book and then like had the third act breakup, when they are like, oh, okay, well, I gotta think of a grand gesture to like get them back. I don't like when the girl does it.
And that's crazy because I wrote a rom-com play and the girl does a grand gesture.
No.
And it's like, I don't like it either, but I think it's something, I like how it subverts, I don't know, because I'm like, as I'm getting older and stuff, I'm like, this man has been doing so many grand gestures to like, well, in my book, well, my play, the man was doing so many grand gestures to her, and she was pushing him away, being, because she's like, I don't deserve to be loved, so like, her grand gesture. So like, but sometimes I'm like, it can work, but I still feel myself being like, I'll never do that for a man. But who knows? Because when I'm in love, I'm down bad. Child, you will find me doing a lot.
No, same. And that's
just
why it's like,
realistic.
I love to judge them, but I'm like, girl, I do the same. Like, I go above and beyond for my boyfriend's birthday. Like, I am literally just as guilty, but somehow when I read it, I'm like, girl, like, no, he should be on his knees for you.
It's kind of embarrassing because like also he need to also be thinking of a grand gesture at the same time.
Right. So when I read that in the Take a Hint, Danny Brown, I'm just like, girl, you doing this, doing that. But then understandably, like in that book, she was literally doing what you described, like pushing him away.
She's trifling enough. I love her. Them sisters, bro. The Brown sisters, like Chloe too. I was like, Chloe, this man is fingering you at the park and only caring about you.
It was
I'm
the
like,
alley for me.
oh yeah, she was getting fingered everywhere. I was like, girl, this man, and then he would always be like, I like you, this. And like treating her like a queen, and she's over here like, ugh, this white boy.
She's getting the ick. Like, girl,
Yeah.
what? Do you like him
I
or not?
get it. It's just like you need therapy. That's all.
No, right. I did like that aspect of it though. I think I put in my review where it's like these boys were giving like their pro therapy, and that was like a good situation because I think growing up, those weren't in a lot of the books that we were reading when we were
Especially
young.
with Black people, like mental health in the Black community is still like it's getting talked about a lot more than when I was like when we were younger.
Yeah.
But like that's why I love Talia Hibbert. Oh my god, like they the pro therapy, Black women being loved out loud, it's just beautiful.
Right. That brings us to our next transition where we're talking about the importance of Black women being loved out loud in books. Like, what is your take on that?
I love it. I think I think if I grew up with the romance books I'm reading now, I would have been in therapy a lot less because like that's why I'm always
Same.
like that's why I'm always like my nieces like they're growing up in like a really really cool and interesting time because like there's so many like black women, black people that are like writing black love stories and healthy black love stories, not no love and basketball shit, like healthy.
Because that's all we had when we were growing
Yeah.
up. And I was like, I don't really want to read that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you know that one specific genre where it was like, okay, this is just too much. Like, now we talking about guns and violence, and it's
Yeah.
like,
It's just, like, girl, please. Like, my grandma had me in a house. I wasn't doing all
right.
that. She would beat
So
my
a lot of
ass.
that, those stories I can relate to, but now I think that because I came to this revelation the other day where it's like I think the issue why we have like such a good space that we're in right now is because those girls were our age, like growing up. I know we're like what 4 years apart, but still generally, and now they're older, and like same thing with you, like you're older and you're able to be the one to take up those
Yeah.
spaces. So that's what makes it so beautiful because it's like we really did not have it like that growing up.
We didn't. Now we got what, Kennedy Ryan, we got Talia Hibbert, we have Jasmine Guillory, we have I'm always gonna say Emily Henry, even though she don't be writing for black people. I love
Right.
it, lady.
I've
To me,
yet to read an Emily Henry book yet, but I need
girl, you have
to.
to. You're gonna be hooked. I don't play about Emily Henry. That one white lady, I don't play. It's like how these black girls that love Taylor Swift be like, I don't play about her. I don't play about Emily Henry. Not Taylor Swift. Emily Henry, that's my woman.
That's my token white woman.
That's my token white lady. Like, I don't play about her. And so, like, to be able to read, like, and it's also bittersweet, too, because it's like, oh my God, I'm so glad this is happening now. But, like, I wish it was happening when I was younger. But, like, we have it now, so who cares kind of thing.
Right.
But, yeah, I love it. I think I fall a little bit more in love with myself every time I read a
Same.
black love story of a black girl being read out loud, like loved out loud, like with Chloe Brown and like chronic illness and just like how she was so closed off and like mental health and like having someone see through like
The walls you have
the
built
walls.
up. Yeah.
Yes. Well, I just got that. My therapist just told me that too. She was like, your walls are too up. I was like, oh. I'm like, not Chloe Brown moment. Let's stop.
And that's why it's so important, like, for us to see people who look like us, who
Yeah.
are literally written, like, even, like, there's moments where it's, like, they describe, like, I put my braids up into a, protective style. She talked about how, I think one of the sisters has relaxers.
Yeah.
And it's, like, even little details like that you read where it's, like, I did not see any descriptive words like that growing up, where it's, like, oh, like, I can visualize what her hair looks like in her box braids.
Yeah, and it's like, oh my God, I would wear my hair like that. It's just like so that's why I'm like fiction and the media is so powerful because it will shape how you feel about yourself. Like I'm like I love myself and I think that's because of the media that I'm taking in now. Like I'm like, oh, I think I'm worthy of love. I'm not too much, you know what I mean? Because like there's these black girls that and black girls, no matter what, are always told they're too much.
Yeah.
And to have like these, like these men, like these love interests and these books go, you are not too much. You are just enough. Like I want more of you. You know what I mean? It's just so like, it's just beautiful seeing a black woman loved out loud and seeing the patience that they have for these women, because like that's something that black women aren't afforded. We aren't afforded grace. We aren't afforded patience. We aren't afforded like unconditional love, you know, in this society. And to see these black authors kind of push back on that and be like, no, in my book they are. Because hopefully reality will reflect that, you know. It's just so beautiful.
Right. I truly think that that's like so important now. And I think especially like when I get online and then I see people like, no shade, no tea, we love, eat cane.
Oh God, I
Where
knew you
it's
were gonna say
like,
her name. Oh
I
my
was like, but girl, like we are having serious crises going on in reality where black girls are quite literally getting beat on and hated on by their partners.
Yeah.
And I really hope that in the future, like, Ike just needs to read a good romance novel so she can see her work.
No.
Because it's
I'm like, Chris looked like he snuck his way on Earth.
no,
Acting
literally
like that.
from Planet X.
Like, girl, we need you in some therapy. We need you to read some good romance novels because the Kane situation is so heartbreaking.
It really is. It's getting scary now.
It is.
It's starting to get a little bit concerning. You want him to off you? Like, girl, we need you to start reading, babes. Get off live and read.
Get away from that.
Because
Yeah.
it'll make you believe. And I really like that you brought that up because it's like sometimes they can really have a reflection on your personal life.
Yeah.
Where you see that like these black girls like literally have trauma. Even like the last book in the series where she's like, am I autistic? That gets personal, where these girls are literally like figuring themselves out, and then it causes you to look into yourself because you're reading about a character who's like showing introspection as well.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, well, like that ended up making me like go further into be like, man, maybe I should get diagnosed, for ADHD, like because I read that freaking book.
Oh, it's just books are so powerful. Like,
Yeah, I think growing up, like, it was really difficult because I had a aunt-in-law, my uncle's wife. She would always like be so hard on me, and whenever she knew that like I was a book girly, and she'd be like, well, why don't you read more books with black girls on it? And she would always like judge me for that, and it's like, well, girl, like it ain't that many, and then the ones that are, it's like
can't relate.
right. So now that I think about that, like that was literally the reason where it's like we're not where we at now in 2024 when it comes to the accessibility of black authors and showing black girls in a positive light. Like we really didn't have that much. So it's like it was just giving white girls on the cover, and that's like all I was used to reading.
Yeah.
And I think like I have to admit that at one point it almost got a little bit uncomfortable for me because I was not used to even reading about black girls, until more recently, where I discovered like, wait, there are more authors like Jasmine out there for me, and it's like, why am I still reading all the ones with the white girls on the covers?
It gets like that. I remember I went through a crisis. I was like, why am I relating more to these white girls than these black girls that are coming out, like these black books about black girls that are coming out. But I think like getting to read like Jasmine Guillory and getting to read like Talia Hibbert, like it's because like they had these traits that I had that I didn't see reflected in people that look like me. You know what I mean? So it gets like so uncomfortable when you have to also talk to yourself and be like all representation isn't good representation.
Right.
And, like, yeah, I don't think there's nothing wrong with being like, hey, I was reading this book with this black girl and I didn't relate. Like, that's okay. You know what I mean? Because that was me when I was growing up. I was like, listen, my grandma wasn't having me running those streets. Yes, I grew up in the hood, but she kept my rump inside. Yes,
same. And like I was like literally giving suburbs, so like up until my parents' divorce, and then I was like kind of more in an urban area, so it's like even then like I was in the house, so I can't relate. And then you have like this popularity of like books like The Hate You Give during that time. I was like, wait, then it kind of felt like, okay, well the only books I do have are either about that or like police brutality, and that still felt kind of too heavy for me as well.
It's like, why can't we have light romance books?
Right.
And I will say, like, The Hate You Give was the first book that I felt like truly seen. And I love The Hate. Like Angie Thomas, her flowers all the time, because here was a girl who lived in like, an urban place, and she had to travel to go to this white school, and like she was dealing with like the rise of Black Lives Matter, and then her like the violence against her best friend that just got murdered by police, and having to deal with that trauma while being around white people all the time at school. I was like, that was my high school experience. So like I related so much, and it caused me to seek out more books like that. But it was also that like, well, when I want to read something fluffy, where is it? Like, because the books that were coming out during that time when I was in high school were just trauma, you know?
Right. Yeah, that's like something that I didn't really start thinking about until recently. Like, a lot of them were traumatic, and I know that, like, I always grappled with that too, because I didn't want to be seen as the type of black girl who turns my head away to important issues either. But at the same time, I think that I always like attributed to me being a Pisces. Like, I thrive in being in a dreamy state.
Yes.
So when like reality is like hard and like tough to deal with, because I'm such a like an empath, it's really difficult for me to grapple with that. So it's like, as much as I like want to support what's going on and feel related to the girlies in that way, I don't know if I was always in the state to trauma bond with a book character in that way, because it was
you
like,
shouldn't have to.
yeah, like it was too heavy.
You're already living this reality, and books are an escape. So why am I reading? Why do I want to seek out and read something that I already have to deal with in life? You know, like we were dealing with the trauma of watching people that look like us get killed every 5 to 7 business days.
No,
why do I have
literally
to read about it? You're like traumatizing yourself even more. And I think like that's another conversation too. And like black people are judged for not particularly wanting to talk about that trauma and things. Like, I'm like, it's happening to us. If I don't want to talk about this, I don't want to talk about it. If I don't want to read about this, I don't want to. I live it every day. Why do I have to? You know, like, you don't, like, a white person go through a divorce and don't want to read divorce books. You don't say nothing about that.
Right. And especially like what you said with like our experience, like going to a white school. It's like, girl, I'm fighting for my life every single day in real time.
I'm trying to read a book where a black girl gets love, and hopefully that manifests for me, or a black girl in a fantasy setting. Like, I'm not trying to read about my life. I don't like my life. I got to be around white people. Like, no.
Right. Like, I think the more people need to have more conversations about things like that, because like it really is tough. And I think sometimes like the pressure that gets put on like influencers or content creators to like address every single thing, it's like, I don't think that any black girl should ever get pressured about anything. If I can make that a law, like, leave us alone.
Like, just because we're not speaking out about it doesn't mean that we don't care. Like, it was like the Monet and Palestine situation.
Yeah.
And like the girl was on her Insta stories sharing links, talking out about it, and they were still bullying her in the comments about it. But then we have Alex Earl. Nobody was bullying her. We have like Anna X Sitar, whatever her name is.
Yeah.
She has 13 million followers. Nobody was bothering her about that. And like, Free Palestine, like, I'm very outspoken about it. Like, I'm more outspoken on my Instagram because I have more people there. But, like, yeah, just, like, the bullying of black and brown creators to talk about every social issue that white people, that's my only frustration with it. Like, only, like, the black and brown creators are pressured to talk about it. And then the white ones get to, like, dilly-dally, have their little fun. Nobody's, like, telling them they should go to hell, they're a bad person, you know, and it's
still
like,
go to Starbucks and like don't have to deal with the reparation.
Right, they still go to Starbucks, and I'm just like, you still got your followers. They're not calling you a horrible person, but then here is like a black creator that's speaking out about Palestine, that's sharing boycott lists and things like that, and you still want them to do even more, and it's like, oh my God.
The expectation is crazy. I think that's what makes me scared, because I'm like, I kind of like being like a micro content creator at this point, because do I even want that pressure?
You get so much scrutiny for anything. Like, your blush, your makeup don't look good that day. Somebody talking about it on the snark Reddit. It's like, I can't do that.
Right. Like, that's literally too much. Like, but yeah, I think the moral of the story that from this conversation is that like black girls deserve like more grace, and I'm really loving where we're going right now with books and the direction that we're headed. Like, even at my local library, like now we have like a black section, but then it's like categorized under black romance, under black this and that and the other, and it's like I eat it up every single time, because I still use the like Libby app to read to read books. So I'll go to the library just to see what they have and then write it down and then like go rent it on Libby.
Period.
Yeah, so like I love the fact that we have that section, because it's like, girl, I did not have this growing up.
Damn. I say it to my niece and nephew all the time. Y'all are lucky because like y'all have so many like amazing books and shows. Like my nephew's half Puerto Rican, half black, and Miles Morales is half Puerto Rican, half black. And so like he's always
Yes.
like, I'm Miles Morales, and I'm like, if you were growing up how I was growing up, you wouldn't even see that. I'm like, I'm so happy that they have that. They have that kind of like representation. Like my like niece, she's like a really shy black girl, very like a little nerdy, and like there's books about like black girls like that, very soft spoken black girls with anxiety who just want to draw and like have no one bother them, you know. And just the beauty of like every black experience is now in books, you know what I mean? There's something so beautiful about like when you see yourself in a book because it just feels like you're validated for the first time. And you start to like gain that confidence, you know? So it's just the kids are all right. I always say that about the black kids, my niece and nephews. I'm like, y'all are all right. Like
I
y'all
love
already speaking up against injustice. You guys are, yes, our politics with the president and shit, hopefully like that gets better, but who knows with
Yeah.
America. But I'm like, when it comes to media and just art, y'all are all right. Y'all are gonna be
Yeah. I
so,
especially love that, like, where the point that you made where you can see like shy black girls, because
yeah,
I think growing up, like, that is something that I feel like traditionally white people have such an issue with, and it's like we
yeah.
aren't allowed
They
to like
still
be given that
do.
grace.
They
Yeah.
still do. Oh my
It's
God. I
like,
used to
I'm sorry I'm
call,
not at my desk smiling as I type every single freaking second,
right.
babe. Like, what the heck do you want from me? It's like if we're not smiling and cheery, then we're just, what's wrong?
Yeah, it's
Like,
like, dang, ain't nothing wrong. That's just my
really?
face.
Right. So being able to like see that in books, or like even be able to like see like black girls being written. I recently finished another book where the black girl was a lawyer. She had her own firm. Like,
Amazing.
girl, I did not. That was my first time even reading something like that. Like, it's giving Olivia Pope.
Right. It's giving Miss Messy Molly from Insecure. Like,
Right. Oh wait, I gotta watch that again.
I love it. I rewatch it like every few months. Like Insecure, especially being in our like 20s now and getting to
Yeah.
relate even more. I just love it. It's
Same. I've only watched the whole thing through one time, and I need to get back into it because, like, I felt the most alive when watching Insecure.
oh my God, the Twitter debates. I used to love that. I'd be
No,
on Twitter arguing.
right?
I'm like, y'all leave Molly alone. That girl just need therapy.
That was me when I would watch Grownish. Zoe is just so
Oh my
problematic.
God.
Like, girl, Zoe, you are
Her.
exhausting me, girl.
I mean, that's why she's a main character. Listen, they gotta be the crazy ones, the problematic ones. Look at Carrie.
No, right?
Oh my, that irritated me to my core. Like, I recently just watched it all the way through as like a girl in her 20s now, like a few weeks ago, and I was just like, I can't do this.
No. Like, it's so
Like
hard
Carrie.
to like see them go through those growing pains, but it's like we're actively going through it too. So
Yeah. And sometimes you know what not to do because of these characters.
that's true.
Yeah.
Like, they're really out here teaching us lessons. Like, okay, if I'm ever in that situation, I'm literally not gonna take that route.
Right. It's like, what would Carrie do? Then don't do that.
Right. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we've talked about like pretty much everything, covered what we love about reading, what's your favorite trope, the importance of black authors, seeing women being loved on. But I just wanted to ask about like more of the mental health content, because I know
Yeah.
you said like you've been going into that just to like piece it all together. Like, what made you start going into that? Because I feel like I have not seen a creator like you at all, to be transparent to the point where it's like, take your meds with me.
Yeah.
Like what brought that on?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I am a black girl, and in the black community, mental health is not talked about.
Yeah,
I've been dealing with depression since like I can remember, you know what I mean?
same.
And I remember going through depression, and You know, I've had an eating disorder, all of that. Like, mental health has always been something I've struggled with. And I just remember being like, oh, you either pray, oh, you're selfish, oh, you're being dramatic, da da da. And like, it's only just now, like, I've been in therapy, I think, for like almost a year now. And like, I've been on meds for a year because like, I'm finally able to accept that I need help. Cause I was getting Baker acted. And in Florida, that means like you are involuntarily put in a like inpatient because like I was so deep in my mental health, you know, like suicide attempts, all of that. And like, it still wasn't taken seriously. I'm like, you just watched me overdose on purpose. Like, and it's still not taken seriously by my family members because we don't, it's a lack of education. And it's also just like, Black women are supposed to be strong. Black people are supposed to be strong. And so like, I wasn't seeing a lot of like mental health TikTokers to feel like, because when I was looking to feel less alone, it would be white people. And I think the only mental health TikToker is like Sierra, the Black girl that moved to Denver.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about.
Who's like, you're going to be fine this week. And this is why.
Yes, I love her. I recently followed her on Instagram too.
Yeah, she's amazing. She's thriving. And like, she's very transparent about bipolar disorder and things like that. And I think the hardest thing for me was taking my meds when I got subscribed to them. And it's just, to me, like, meds aren't going to work for everyone, but it's like a small little act every day, a small little ritual, like you mentioned before, where you just like take your meds and you're doing something for you. And so like, I just did it on video once. I was just like, I'm going to take my meds and hopefully someone feels like less alone. And it kind of like, it didn't like blow up because I ain't got that many followers, but it got good traction.
It means something to the community that you have.
Like, I got like a lot of traction and people are like, hey, I'm taking this. I did it today. And I'm just like, I'm proud of you. Okay, friend, like, I'm proud of you because like people need to hear that and people need to feel less alone because mental health is so stigmatized. And it even helps me. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm getting to take my meds with my 1,000 friends like today, you know, like, did I take my med? Let me check my TikTok. I did. So it's just like, it's just a little thing like trying to like destigmatize mental health, especially for like Black people, but like for anyone, because taking meds is hard. Like sometimes it does feel like I'm like, what's wrong with me that I have to take meds to survive, you know? I'm like, my worst days, I'm like, I can't even function right. I have to take like a pill, you know, like there's something wrong with me. And it's like, there's nothing wrong with you. You have a chemical imbalance in your brain. The meds are going to help you. And it's a positive addition to your life. And it's just like, you literally just have to wake up and take a pill. It's like birth control. You will be okay.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah.
I totally agree with you. I think that it's just crazy how our stories are just so similar, girl.
I know, girl, we need to link up soon.
Seriously, because when I was going through like the worst time of my life, like senior year of like high school, like my hair was falling out, like girl, I was so down bad. I had my senior exit presentation and I didn't even know it was that day because I was like literally not going to school. Like it was so hard to get out of bed. Like your girl has seen the dark days, and my mom was just like telling me like maybe you should like take meds, and then I was always so scared because it's like, what if it takes away my sparkle?
Same, me too.
Right, because then you get so scared thinking that it's gonna like change you or something because you hear so many scary stories. And I didn't start taking like my Lexapro until I think 2 years ago. And like start consistently like actually having a therapist like 2 years ago. So I've only been like 1 year difference from you. But it really is intimidating when you first like get into the meds because what is it gonna do to me? Like now I have anxiety about side effects, like stuff like that. But I think that your series is so important to me in the representation of it all because, like, it really is difficult to remember to keep taking it. And then there's, like, some days where you almost don't feel like it in a strange way, even though you know it's going to help you. So it's, like, those reminders and, like, seeing someone else, like, actively take the same thing that I'm taking or something similar, like antidepressant, like, I don't know, like, it just really helps. So I appreciate that, because it's like,
Thank
girl,
you.
same. Like, it is so hard. I went through a rut like 2 weeks ago where I didn't take mine for 4 freaking days.
It happens.
Because,
I go through that too. Like I'll forget, and I'm like, why am I getting zaps in my brain? Why am I feeling like depressed? Why the heck am I crying? I'm like, girl, when the last time you took your meds?
right.
Right.
Like, oh, and then it gets so tricky because, like, at the time, like, it started because it's usually when I need a refill, and then I'll
Yeah.
forget, and then you get the refill, and then it's like, okay, and then I'll forget to go pick it up. And I'm like, okay, I gotta go pick it up today.
Yep.
Forgot to pick it up. Now it's been 4 days, and I haven't taken it. And it's like, oh my God. So it's just so tricky. But then, like, seeing your reminder, I'm like, yep, gotta get on it. Because I
I
swear
think
I'll
you
get.
commented on a video one time. I gotta get my refill.
Yeah.
You like, but I have people in the comments being like, "Girl, I ain't even get my refill," and I'm like, if you don't get your,
Like, we're holding each other accountable in that way, and it's like
yeah.
so beautiful. So I really love that. I'm just so glad that, like, you're transparent about your story and your struggles and stuff, because I agree, like, there have been times where, like, my sister has also gone through, like, mental health crises, and it's kind of like it's not taken to the severity that it needs to be taken to, and the same thing with mine. And you're just like, okay. And then half the time, like, I've literally had, like, family members, like, where my grandpa was going through, like, a mental health crisis, and they're
Yeah.
like, oh, ain't nothing wrong with him. Like, black people love to say that, and it's like,
People been like,
no.
oh, you know, it's just her nerves bad. Like, girl, no, she having a panic attack.
Like, no, Aunt Mary has literal schizophrenia, and you're
Yeah, it's like,
literally
and it's like, oh, we just need to pray. What? Like,
girl,
go
it's the
ahead and
prayer
pray.
of it all.
It's
My
always
my granny's good for that.
my grandma good for that too. Or it's like, oh, the devil done got you. Girl, no. Devil did not get me. I just need my meds.
My granny, I know I'm fighting demons, but, like, this is, like, something I need
Right.
medication for. Like, oh my God, no. Man, like, it really is rough out here, but I'm just so glad that we have therapy, and, like, the fact, like we said earlier, that it's being, like, talked about
Yeah.
in books too. Like, I love that. I really need to get into that more, because that's something I want to read more about, like, the characters in the books that are in therapy, or if they're, like, therapists. I need to seek that out, because, like, I just love those down. Like, y'all are teaching me lessons.
Right. I done did that same thing. Oh, that's why. And then I go to my therapist like, so the book character said this. And sometimes my therapist be like, girl.
Oh my God, do you have a black therapist too?
I love
Okay,
her.
same.
Even today I had my biweekly therapy session. I've graduated to biweekly. That's how I know I'm doing all right.
Oh, I
I'm
love
not I'm still
that.
mentally ill, but I'm functioning.
Girl, I'm
And
still on
so, like,
weekly.
girl, I can't.
Love that for you though. I really, really, really do. Like, I'm really rooting for you.
Yeah. Do you have a black therapist, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So like it's good because like you know how we're kicking, we're chit chatting. That's how it is like at therapy. It's like because black girl, we get each other. Like I
Yes.
think I said something today. Like I was like saying how the guy was dating. He said he had liked me, and I said I tolerate you. And like she looked at me like Jessica. She was like girl. And I was like, I eventually said I liked him back. Oh my God. She like, Jessica. She like, girl, we not doing that today. We not. And it's just like that, like, she'll give me a look and I'm like, oh,
No, mine will literally gather me with a look too.
no, like that's how I know. Like that's how I know I did something wrong. I know I didn't listen to her. Cause I'll say some things and she'll be like, I'm like, oh. I'm like, so what I did wrong now? What?
Oh my god, no, because like even down to like where I was having like a literal mental crisis over my hair, because it's like I went through a moment where I was like, dang, like 4C hair is literally not for the weak,
It's not.
and was like going through it, and I was like, you know what, I just need to like talk about this in therapy. Like this is to the point where this is literally like hurting my quality of life.
Yeah.
And then I realized like I need to just start getting my hair done more consistently, because it was just mentally, like, people don't talk about how much energy it takes to like do your own hair as a black girl. And if you're already kind of like having a hard time getting out of bed every day, the last thing you want to do is like fight to detangle your hair.
Oh my god, yeah.
And so when I was talking to her about it, she was just like, having someone who understands, who like frequently gets their hair done and like has suggestions and ideas on like how to help wash day turn more into like a self-care moment and like changing my relationship with it, like, girl, works wonders. Like, I've been doing so much better with it.
See, I love how you said like wash day is a self-care day. Like,
Yeah.
it's like that reframing, and it's something like a white therapist or like a non-black therapist wouldn't understand. You know what I mean? Like, they probably consult with their black therapist colleague to talk to you, and it's just like, oh, just that feeling seen is just like so important.
It really
I have
is.
days like that too. I was like telling my therapist, I'm like, I'm getting braids, thank God. Like, I'm so happy, because like dealing with your hair, child, sometimes I let it be a rat's nest. Sometimes I wear my bonnet, because I'm like, if a white girl can go out with her hair looking stringy, messy.
I saw that TikTok you made, and I'm like, girl,
I'm like, and my therapist was like, yeah, why can't you wear your bonnet? Who cares? Who says it's not socially acceptable? It's a hat, basically.
right.
That's my thing. Sometimes I'm like, listen, I'm just going to the grocery store 5 minutes away. I'm about to walk to my little grocery store. If people look at me weird, okay, I'm going to start looking at y'all weird. Because why are you looking at me weird?
And we deserve to take up that space and look back. Because a lot of times I felt like I shouldn't, but it's like...
Oh, no, I do. I be glaring.
Oh my god, I love that so much. I've had so much fun talking to you.
This was so great. Again, I'm so honored. Like, you don't understand. I love you. Like,
no, like, I love you.
Your podcast, your TikTok. Now I know you got a YouTube. I'm finna go follow you on YouTube, girl.
Oh, thank you, girl. I'm close to 300 subscribers. Like, your girl's trying to push through.
We rooting. You about to get to 10K by the end of the next 2 months. I'm finna manifest it right now.
Wait, no. We need some black girl manifestation.
You about to speak it out.
Yes.
Because your podcast deserves so much more hype. Like, this was amazing. You're amazing. This was great.
Thank you. Oh my god. Like, I just love your energy. I feel like we have such like similar stories and feelings about a lot of things, and I would love to have you on like again in the future.
Please do. Anytime. Please.
I appreciate you.
Yeah,
well, we sadly got to wrap this up. Let the people know where they can find you.
You can find me on TikTok. It's Jess Posey. I think it's like 4 S's. Because my name's so fucking basic. You can find me there. You can find me on Instagram at booklady98. And if you're in Chicago, you can come see one of my plays.
Love that. I really need to do that next time I'm in the Shy, for real. Like, we have to link.
We have to. I love a good let's go to a happy hour.
Yeah.
Especially in the summer, like a rooftop, please.
Girl, the possibilities are endless when it comes to Chicago with that. That's why I love being there. Like, I feel alive every time I'm in the Shy. Ugh, love it.
Yes, come soon.
Yes, I'll have to. But yeah, so make sure you guys go ahead and follow Jess on everything. I'll make sure that I link all your stuff in the description, whether it's on YouTube, Spotify, Apple. Rate that 5 stars, leave a review, subscribe on YouTube. You know the drill. Follow Jess on everything. And with that, I will see you guys next week. Bye.
Cause I make rich look richer. Save your breath, baby. I'm not going home with y'all. Mini skirt on, take my body in.